Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Detroit Lions fans. Let's get to the news. Hey Lions fans, get comfortable because what I'm about to share with you today is nothing short of a game changer. You know, the NFC North has always been a battleground. Powerhouses like the Packers, Vikings, Bears, and of course, our Detroit Lions, each trying to carve out their spot at the top. But lately, there's been a feeling in the air, a buzz among NFL insiders and fans alike, that something big is brewing, something that might just reshape the landscape of this division in the coming seasons. And no, I'm not just talking about the usual off-season rumors or draft hype. This is about a potential shift so significant that it could alter the trajectory of the Lions' Super Bowl aspirations for years to come. Now, I know what some of you might be asking. What exactly is this big news? Well, I'll get to that, but first, let's set the stage. The Detroit Lions, for years, have been on an uphill climb, steadily building a talented roster, nurturing a young core of players, and finally, breaking through to the postseason in recent seasons after decades of frustration. That 2023 playoff run, for example, showed us that this team isn't just about potential anymore. They have the talent, the coaching, and the mindset to contend. But even with all that progress, the division remains fiercely competitive. The Vikings have been a thorn in the Lions' side, the Packers are always lurking and rebuilding, and the Bears, well, they're always trying to find their footing. But here's the thing, there's talk, real talk, about a star player from a rival team who might be on the move, and that could totally change the game for Detroit. That player is none other than T.J. Watt, the elite linebacker from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Watt has been one of the most disruptive forces in the NFL for years, a player who can change the course of a game with his relentless pass rushing, his ability to stuff the run, and his knack for making game-changing plays. Now, rumors are swirling that Watt's future could be in flux, and if he ends up in Detroit, well, that would be a seismic shift for the NFC North and the NFC as a whole. Imagine the impact. T.J. Watt on the Lions' defense. It's almost hard to fathom, but as the rumors gain traction, fans are dreaming bigger than ever. The Lions already boast a solid front seven, with players like Aiden Hutchinson and James Houston, but adding Watt would elevate the entire unit to a new level. His pass-rushing prowess would complement Hutchinson perfectly, creating a formidable duo that offenses would have nightmares about. Plus, Watt's leadership and experience, he's a two-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year, bring a maturity and a winning mentality that could be exactly what Detroit needs to make that leap from playoff contender to Super Bowl favorite. Now, let's talk about what this could mean for the Lions' season. The NFL is a league where a single player can make all the difference, especially on defense. Detroit's defense has been improving steadily, but adding a player like Watt could be the catalyst that pushes them over the edge. It's not just about the sacks or the tackles, it's about instilling confidence, disrupting the quarterback's timing, and creating turnovers that can flip the momentum of games. And for the Lions, that's exactly what they need if they want to finally break through and reach the promised land of Super Bowl glory. But of course, nothing is certain yet. These are just rumors at this point, and the NFL landscape is always fluid. Teams are constantly evaluating their rosters, cap situations, and strategic directions. Still, the idea of Watt donning the Honolulu blue and silver is enough to get every Lions fan excited. It's that kind of move that could define an era, a signing that signals Detroit's serious intentions to dominate the NFC North and challenge the league's best. Now, I want to pause here for a second, because I know many of you are eager to hear more about how realistic this scenario is, the potential obstacles, and what it would mean for the other contenders in the division. So let's break it down a bit. The Steelers, as we all know, are in a bit of a rebuild mode themselves. They have a solid core and are always competitive, but they're also a franchise that values loyalty and stability. Trading Watt would be a huge decision, and it's not something they'd do lightly. However, if the right offer comes along, maybe a combination of draft picks and young players, who knows? Pittsburgh might consider moving their star linebacker to a team with Super Bowl aspirations like Detroit. And speaking of the Lions' strategy, this potential acquisition fits perfectly with their long-term plan. Detroit has been building through the draft, developing their core, and now they're in that window where adding the missing pieces could make all the difference. The front office, led by GM Brad Holmes, has been smart and aggressive in recent years, making moves that position the team for sustained success. Bringing in a player of Watt's caliber would be an acknowledgement that the Lions are not just content with playoff appearances. They want to win big, and they're willing to do what it takes. Of course, we also have to consider the other teams' responses. The Vikings, for example, have been competitive as well, with Kirk Cousins leading an offense that can put up points. But the addition of Watt to Detroit could tip the scales in the division. Packers, always resilient, are in a bit of a transition, and the Bears are still trying to find their identity after a rough few seasons. In this scenario, Watt's arrival could serve as a rallying point for the Lions and a wake-up call for their divisional rivals. It's about sending a message: Detroit is here to stay and to challenge the status quo. Now, let's talk about what this means for the Lions' upcoming season. If Watt joins Detroit, you can bet that their defense will be among the most feared in the league. That kind of talent doesn't just improve the defense, it elevates the entire team's confidence. Offensively, the Lions can focus on expanding their offensive schemes, knowing that their defense is now a true strength. Jared Goff, who has been fantastic in recent seasons, would benefit from having more opportunities to capitalize on turnovers created by Watt and the rest of the defense. And don't forget about the Lions' roster. Young core of players like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, and the offensive line is already talented, but adding a player like Watt could unlock even more potential. It's about creating a balanced team that can compete at the highest level. The Lions have been patient and strategic, and this move could be the final piece they need to not just make noise in the NFC, but to become legitimate Super Bowl contenders. Throughout the NFL's history, we've seen teams rise rapidly when they make bold moves. Think about the impact of stars switching teams, or a franchise finally landing that one difference maker who elevates everyone around them. Detroit's recent growth has been impressive, but to truly reach that next level, they might need that extra spark. Someone like TJ Watt, who commands respect and can change the course of games with his relentless pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Of course, there are still hurdles to clear before this becomes a reality. The Steelers' valuation of Watt, the salary cap implications, and the overall strategy of both franchises will play major roles in whether or not this move happens. But the mere possibility is enough to send shockwaves through NFL circles and ignite the passion of Lions fans everywhere. It's the kind of story that captures the imagination. What if Watt is the missing piece? What if the Lions finally make that leap to the top of the NFC? And let's not forget, this isn't just about one player. It's about the message it sends. Detroit is serious about winning, about competing at the highest level, and about finally ending that long drought of playoff success. The city has been waiting for a breakthrough, and if this rumor turns into reality, it could be the start of a new era, one where the Lions are not just contenders but perennial favorites. So, Lions fans, keep your eyes peeled, because the NFL offseason is always full of surprises. We've seen big moves before, but this one has that game-changer feel. Whether or not it materializes, the very discussion highlights how far the Lions have come and how much they're aiming for. The division, the conference, and the league better watch out because Detroit is on a serious mission. And as always, I'll be here to bring you all the latest updates, insights, and analysis as things develop. Now, before I wrap up, I want to emphasize the significance of staying engaged and involved. This is your team, your passion, and your voice. So, after hearing all this, what do you think? Do you believe Watt could really end up in Detroit? How would he change the dynamics of the NFC North? Are you excited about the possibility or skeptical? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I love reading what you have to say. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Detroit Lions. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep the Lions' spirit alive and roaring. Because this is more than just a team, this is a movement, and we're all part of it.